Good morning, and it is voting day, at least if you're in the U.S. If you're not, well, congratulations, because I have no idea what's going to happen today. So, as usual, today on the Barnzy show, I am joined by my esteemed co-host with his phone on, and internet personality and foreigner, Beef Stew. Really looking forward to this today, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I just want everybody to know who's watching that whatever the result of the election is, it's not my fault because I legally am not allowed to vote. So it wasn't my fault.
Yeah. What about Brexit? Is that you?
Well, I was allowed to vote. I just didn't think that could possibly have been the outcome, so I didn't bother looking for a mail-in vote from USA. And I can still remember myself and Dom waking up horrified that was what the answer was.
I think there's some of that going on here. Depending on which side you are on, tomorrow there is going to be a fairly significant percentage that is going to feel the same way, probably sometime tonight or, I don't know, maybe next month.
Sometime next week.
Yeah, who knows?
So yeah, I do. The thing I find fascinating about the States is, and I don't think that anybody quite grasps this in Europe, is the United States isn't really a country. It's 52 countries. Because if you read the rules that they all have for like even just counting the ballots, it's hilarious. So they played it on the TV this morning that in the Sun Belt, Biden will probably be ahead at the start and then Trump will catch up and whoever wins, whatever. And he goes, but in the Midwest, Trump will be ahead at the start and then Biden will catch up because of when they did the mail-in ballots or whatever. I don't know. It all seems like bullshit. And I'm sure that nobody who came on our show wants to talk about this. So, so we had some more bowling on TV over the weekend.
We did.
It was the round of 16 on the right-hand side of the bracket. So we got to see some new players, seeds, I guess, come in this week. The seeds were O'Neill, Troop, Jesper, and EJ. I guess we'll briefly brush over the AJ Bill match because we've got AJ coming on and we can grill him over some of the things that went on. But it was another case of urethane versus reactive.
Bill's saw that a lot in the playoffs this year, and that's what happens when the scoring pace goes down on the right. You see way more urethane no matter the length of the pattern. And
from what I've seen, I don't know how much you really focused in on Bill's game. I thought that Bill looked like he had one of the better looks outside of obviously Frankie that I'd seen so far.
Well, and he said that afterwards in a Flow interview that he just had incredible ball reaction, and that's an easy way to say it, but like we saw in the Weber Cup, he's just seeing the lane really good, and so he's making both look like they're fantastic too because he's bridging the small gaps, and
I mean he wasn't doing like I think that matching up is like literally the worst phrase that's ever come to bowling because the connotation when people say you match up is that like your A game works like in that center and it's just like some like grace of God that it's great for him, he just matches up here. And it's like if you watch Bill bowl that match, you can see what he's doing with his hand, you can see the things he's trying to do to manipulate the reaction. He's using a super strong ball. He's keeping it like taking his hand out of it to really float it through the front part of the lane. And it was just great. He created a lot of front to back. And I mean, I think it was the third frame, he threw one and he said, "Oh God," as he let go of it. Well, because he's Bill O'Neill, it rang 10.
It actually, Wes used to be like that. When Wes really had it going, he could do that thing where he threw it and he went, oh, and he would make it back.
Yeah. But anyway, that was that match. We'll get more into it with AJ. The next match is Pate v. Trump. Troop.
Trump.
Whoops.
Uh,
So yeah, it was Pate v. Troop. Pate made an interesting change. He changed. What's up?
For president. Actually, here we go. You can be my VP.
Yeah, I just couldn't be president.
Well, yeah, once I'm president, right? I can change the
Just change the rules.
Yeah, just do whatever I want, right?
So then they had Pate v. Troop. Nick, I thought the biggest change that Nick made was he literally completely flipped on what he did. So the previous week he'd used an IQ Emerald, and I think even in Nick's words, he didn't exactly bowl great. It was a bit all over the place. He just kind of survived the match. He bowled a much better game. He used a Rubicon, which, if you imagine the spectrum of storm balls, the Rubicon and the IQ Emerald aren't close to each other on that graph.
IQ Emerald, super long, really flippy. Rubicon,
yeah,
asymmetrical without a hole, and super early strong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I felt like he bowled better. Troop was the first person that I'd seen use two different reactive balls, which I think was actually a good tactic. He used the hustle PBR on the left lane, which seems to be the lane that hooks more, and he used the phase 2 on the right lane. I thought Kyle, to be honest, bowled a much better game than Nick. Like overall, like he had a couple of bad shots, but he looked like he was really in control. I felt like Nick had a really good ball reaction.
Yeah.
And if that was just a match they were bowling that wasn't on TV, I think Nick would have won. I think Nick just maybe got a little bit ahead of himself. And it's really easy to do when you're, I think that was maybe Nick's second or third TV show. And I think he just got a little bit ahead of himself, and it's really easy to do. We've all been there. He just couldn't. He couldn't really find those extra couple of strikes down the end of the match. And Kyle, like I say, Kyle bowled great, and took him out. Then we had Jesper v. Brad, which was a little controversial because it should have been EJ versus Smallwood. They made a decision for my favorite word, fairness, to flip that match so that Jesper against Brad would have been on the fresh, which I don't really have too much of a problem with. I think that it ended up.
Yeah, you and I disagreed on it a little bit. I felt like it was the right decision, but I also agreed with you that the timing of it, they told the two players way too close to the actual match. It should have been, well, ideally it would have been caught ahead of time and everybody knew up front. But even the morning of would have been not ideal, but good. The day before would have been much better, and let everybody sleep on the idea of what was coming up the next day. I do think it was the most fair for both players because you just don't know which way it's going to go once other traffic gets on the lane. But yeah, it was a last minute adjustment.
And it also had the knock on effect for the next match because EJ and Smallwood were prepared to bowl on the fresh, and then suddenly they were bowling on Brad Miller's burn. And on top of that, Brad Miller had a really good look playing way further left than anybody else on the fresh. I hadn't seen anybody play as far left as Brad did and be semi-successful. And Brad bowled a great game, especially the back half of the game. He was a little shaky early on. And I said to you when I was watching, I said, even kind of having an idea of the result, I have no idea how Smallwood and Brad ended up winning watching the first 6 frames of those matches.
Yeah.
Because Jesper was doing exactly what he feels most comfortable doing. and had a great look and was ahead.
Right.
Brad had an open, just the same as Smalls had an open. EJ was he was doing what EJ does. Like when he's at his most successful, he was kind of dominating the middle of the lane, like 19, getting it way right, and he was controlling the pocket. And like EJ's main deal is like if he controls the pocket, he creates so much room with the pins because of how much rev rate he's got.
550 RPMs. If you hit the pocket, you strike a lot. That gets proven a lot.
and they both ended up losing. I mean, if you put that bet on at the 5th frame for both those matches, you'd have been a rich guy because you'd have got some pretty nice.
Well, that's why you bowl a full game, and that's why this round historically is probably a little strong since it's only the second year of the event. But last year when we had more shows, this was a 2-game match. Now 2-game matches aren't exactly ideal either, but 2 games better than 1. And they were trying to sell it as it was better as a 1-game match, which I found cute and very consistently disagree with. Less being better than more. And that's why, because guys who can do more things will have a better chance the longer you play. The guys that do one thing will have a chance to win way more often in a short format.
There's one question here by Dell that I've seen brought up a couple of times on social media. It says, how defeated do you think the players get when the PBA posts tremendous upset on the bracket? Aren't they all pro bowlers? No, Dell. No. Brad has 0 titles. Jesper has 10 titles. Jesper has more titles this season than Brad had TV appearances before the playoffs. Yeah. Yes, it's a tremendous upset. I'm sure Brad doesn't give a shit what the PBA puts up for the headline other than Brad Miller won. That's the thing that Brad Miller likes seeing. He doesn't care about the fluff around it. That was a more than reasonable. Like if we were talking about NFL, Jesper would have been a 10-point favorite.
Yeah.
Like,
to be honest, Darren Tang was 9th or 10th in points, and Tommy Jones was 20-something in points. But if they bowled each other, it's an upset if Darren beats Tommy because of the history of Tommy's. Same with Pete and some of these other guys.
He said he was referring more to Smallwood again.
Yeah, it's the same. Smallwood is a fantastic player, and he is consistently underrated. But EJ is the second best player consistently on tour for the last 5 years. Put him wherever you want, but he's top 5. Smallwood's never been top 5. He has been really, really good when he's really good. Yeah, and he is way underrated on how many things he can. And he's really dangerous in 1-game formats because nothing shakes him. This guy,
and that showed in that match because he was completely lost at the TV break. He went from urethane, changed into reactive, moved about 5 to 8 left. And then he got one fortunate strike in the 9th frame when he left just a regulation flat 10. And then somebody just let down and went, boop, and it fell over. And then he got up in the 10th, and EJ struggled a little bit down the stretch. It's been kind of his thing the last couple of years. He's just not bowled as well as he bowls the rest of the time on TV. Like,
how was Smallwood not a top 5? There's a couple of things about Smallwood because he's a full roller. When he's good, he's great. But there's some things when you throw a full roller that means your ball's not going to roll very good on, and it doesn't really matter how good he bowls because you can't use a lot of drillings to work your way out of it.
To be fair, if you can show me some stats that put Smallwood in the top 5 on the PBA Tour, then maybe we'll change our opinion. But there aren't any, I don't believe.
Top 5, nice guy.
Yeah, he's awesome. And
he's won a couple of majors, but what he's really been great at is capitalizing on his opportunities.
Smallwood's great at throwing shots when he needs them. And just to put in perspective, talking about Smallwood because the first question was all about, did the players care? I would say of all the players on tour, the person who gives the least shits about what's on social media or on the PBA website is Tom Stewart.
That dude is comfortable in his own skin.
He couldn't care less.
He's just a solid. He's a good dad. I've seen him with his son out there. He's a great dad.
Yeah.
His is the epitome of him. Wants to be just like him. He's quiet, polite, funny, and shy. And he's just a guy who's a good dude, and he's really good at bowling. I agree, Small is a grinder, and I still say the year that Andrew Anderson was POY, EJ won 3 titles that year was robbed. EJ won 2 sweepers that year. Those are not titles to the guys on tour. Not all the guys on tour.
If you want to talk about being robbed, I would go with the guy who won the US Open and the Japan Cup in the same year. But, it's okay.
Yeah.
EJ, it's not fair. Andrew consistently that year bowled the best.
Yeah. And he won the Masters and
Jonesboro, I think it was.
Right. Like the 2 hardest tournaments of the year. Whether it's right or wrong, lowest scoring, not hardest tournaments to win, lowest scoring of the year. Patterns were brutal at both those. The US Open was hard that year too, but it was.
Yeah, the US Open's always hard.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're getting completely off base with that. I mean,
yeah. Anyway,
membership voted. It was what it was. I still don't think EJ got robbed.
No, I voted for Andrew too. If it had been a longer season, things might have been much different. But in the short realm of what we had to pick from, there were some extra frame titles and some other stuff that I think EJ won a doubles title and an extra frame title of his 3. Neither of those have nearly the same importance as a singles title.
Certainly not
on the regular
membership.
Yeah. So, just my opinion. That doesn't mean anything. But
Love Jones said, no disrespect, but how could he be? You would put him above Belmo. I'm not sure Darren belongs on that list, but
he's working his way there. He's trying to.
No, but he's talking about
Yeah.
previous years. Like,
all right. Well, with no further ado, our guest is here and around, and we are talking about PBA playoffs. So we'll let him come in here. A man who, well, you would think by now needs no introduction, but since he still doesn't have a title, he's going to need an introduction, I guess. My friend, former splitter. We're all splitters here. So, great run in the playoffs, and followed up probably his best body of work season. And, we're actually a little proud of him. A fan of the show, and, well, I guess are a fan of him. So, therefore, JJ.
Much appreciated, guys. Much appreciated.
How you doing, dude?
I'm doing all right. It seems like we just saw each other like a few weeks ago, but it feels like it's been forever.
Yeah, and it's extra long for me because I don't get to watch myself on TV the last couple of weeks like you guys did.
Well, I mean, you can go back through the
PBA League
stream was where they had the Weber Cup and watch replays of that if you want. Chris, congrats, by the way.
This ties in. Maybe it's the cameras. No, I'm sorry. That was the wrong one. It flipped up on me. Stewie, have you lost weight during the pandemic?
I went into the bubble. It helped me out.
Yes.
Yeah. That bubble in England will make you lose weight.
Somebody asked the question that AJ wants to claim. Let me just a quick question. Best talent on tour without a title, Brad Miller.
No.
Hey.
It's another house fan.
There we go.
Oh dear.
There we go.
Let's.
I had to bring the flag, Chris. Congrats.
Oh, there we go.
Best for being the Team USA general manager. That was really cool to watch. You guys put on a great show for you.
That was pretty.
That might be the best call right there.
That was fun to watch.
Maybe not. GM, that's probably closer.
Yeah, he starts off each day and he goes, I wonder who we're going to beat them with today. Is it going to be EJ? No, I think it's going to be a Bill day today. Oh, look, the first day, Simus is a bit jet-lagged. We'll just hold him back for the next day. It'll be fine. You get some sleep, Simo.
There's some first world problems when you had the other three guys backing him up.
Yeah.
We're just like, giddy up, Jesper. Giddy up.
Yeah. You guys had about one horse going over the last couple of days that you guys are all depending on.
No, that's not.
Can we use him for every match or?
First day and a half, he was riding a little bit solo. The last
Thomas
day
and
and a half
bowled pretty good. Thomas bowled pretty good in the doubles as well. Like, little did we know, Thomas bowling a doubles match with us and us scoring 240 was an achievement. Yeah. That was an achievement that Dom and Oscar couldn't manage. Or was it Dom and Jesper? I forget.
Was that Thomas's first Weber Cup?
It was, yeah.
He bowled exceptionally well for it being his first one. That was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I think that it was a very strange atmosphere with there being like nobody there. Like it was a little strange.
Yeah.
You got a backer in here, Craig Dobson. Come on, man. Hey, JJ, 2021, he will get a tower. I will shave my head like Tommy Jones. That's not that much of a stretch for you, Craig, for starters.
No.
Great shave.
So you'll be the 8 ball to his cue ball.
There you go.
Sweet.
So let's have a quick chat about your match. You and Bill both. The one thing I really noticed on the playoffs was how hard you were throwing it. Like everybody, just in general, they were really trying to keep it online. Did you consider throwing reactive in that match?
Yeah, actually, halfway through the match, when we had a commercial break, I went over to Brett and we talked a little bit about that. Because I had a couple of good options before it started. And my thought was if Bill was going to throw that super strong reactive solid ball, I could just be a little bit further left of him and use his hook to the right as miss room. But halfway through when he big forward, I concentrated on going to one of it's called the Venom Recoil. So it's an ASAM core, but it doesn't have a whole lot of flare.
Is that orange one?
Yeah, it's the orange one.
You've used that a couple of times on TV.
Yeah. So Chris was just laughing because he liked when I threw that.
No, I'm actually laughing at this. I'm gonna.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Stocked up for quarantine.
No, it's just that my wife,
the quicker picker upper.
My wife is a huge paper towel / paper products. She's very specific about them. So,
just Bounty, there is a spot for you right along the bottom, right here. As a matter of fact, you can have your own spot. We can even put you up in the corner.
I'll even, if you want, I'm sure I can talk to the people about, and I could maybe bowl in a Bounty shirt. So
we can put you up right here.
So we talked about it, and basically what we kind of went with was to go out of the commercial break and make a couple of better shots because the match prior on that pair of lanes, that ball looked really good. The one that I was throwing, that desert tank. So we went with it just because of how good it was before, and hindsight being 2020, even after the match, I said to him, like, I had that feeling, and I should have made that ball change. Worst case scenario, the same outcome happens, but at least I would have known that. The flip side of that, if I would have made that ball change, would I have thrown a 4-bagger, 5-bagger to shoot 230 or 240? So
I'm very much I want to die knowing, not die wondering.
Right.
Stu and I very much agree on that. That is one of those overlooked parts of the TV thing.
Absolutely.
Early on, you get a little bit of paralysis because of the situation, and then as you go forward, then you get to where a little freer to just do what you what you feel like needs to be done because it's such a shorter format than a normal match or a squad.
Right. And it's such a tough call with only one game.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like being on the fresh as well is a little bit like nobody could really. I think the other point as well is if you'd realized that Bill was going to bowl 240 or 235, then you probably wouldn't have thrown that desert tank. Because I don't think that really had a 235 reaction in it.
No.
But being as all the matches had pretty much been 210.
Yeah.
215 was a winner, and then that's when your thing becomes.
Although I will say I'm going to continue my my conspiracy theory that the scores have been much better since they got rid of the blue oil. So just for everybody who watches at home, no, it doesn't help. We don't look at where it's dark blue and light blue and go, oh, bowl there. No, it doesn't help.
The first time you go to the park that doesn't have any, looks like there's no blue there, and your ball skids into the 6-pin.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, how'd that happen?
You come back and you wiping your ball off, and you got the white spots on your shirt that are now blue, and they don't come out after a while. That's the worst part.
Well, AJ, you see, once you get stronger, you can hold the ball away from your body.
Okay. Is that how that works?
Yeah. Once you grow into your adult body, it'll work out for you.
Okay. I learned something new from Dad every day.
There you go.
I must say, though, AJ, like the reason why I was more surprised that you didn't throw reactive is it's like out of the guys with really high rev rates, I would say that you're probably close to the best at throwing reactive balls on the fresh. Like I would say that you probably score almost as many of your pins like relative to the field.
Sure.
In the first couple of games as you do the last couple of games, which of guys who've got 500 rev rates is fairly unusual.
Right, because you can throw super aggressive balls that don't hook early, and you can keep them on line and keep them in front of you.
Yeah, and that's why we had talked about that recoil, because it looked good in the practice, and then the same thing happened in the match prior when I bowled Kyle. Is that recoil looked really good, and I told Brett, I said I think that's what we got to do when they re-oil, maybe just freshen the cover a little bit, and then they re-ran them right before the match started, and all of a sudden, the most I got with it was 8. I was like, whoa, what happened? And they were significantly flatter in the middle. And so that was when he made the call to go to the desert tank and just play a little closer to the right. And he said, just control the pocket.
Yeah, no.
That was kind of the same situation that was going to happen when I bowled Bill. But as the match went on, I saw that they were a little bit more open, because there were a couple shots that even Bill threw. I was like, oh, I didn't see that in practice. And I should have made the switch, and I think the outcome could have been a little bit different. But
yeah, it does feel like 2020 has been a very much a Bill O'Neill year, though. So it might not have been different. He might have just scored more.
Right.
You guys,
yeah, he's been bowling really good.
I mean, the one part that summed up Bill O'Neill 2020, I think it would have been his 6th frame. I'm not 100% sure. It was probably his 6th frame. Just he split, and then he went like super light, and it was terrible. No, it was his 4th frame. That's right. He had the light hit, and it 7-pinned, and the pin literally bounced this way and flipped completely over and landed on the 7-pin.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's cool. And then the very next shot, AJ went up and 7-pinned off almost exactly the same hit. And it's like, how does the guy with 400 RPMs get the pin to bounce over and hit it, whereas the guy with 520s, no, not today.
Yeah, no, sorry.
And it was just funny because in the end, it actually saved Bill the count, because the very next frame he split, and it would have been like a 6 split or whatever, 7 split on a spare. And then of course that would have meant that he needed a double in the 10th, not just like the one hit. But yeah.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, I've been asked a couple times, and yeah, I wish we would have thrown reactive. I wish we would have thrown that recoil just to see, because in past, even when I bowled Chris in Jonesboro, that ball, that ball just seems to match up really well when the oil is really shorter. And there's some friction even in the front part of the lane, like there was in Virginia.
That's actually not a ball that many people use, is it?
No, and it was kind of funny because right before Jonesboro, Brett and the guys at Motive were getting ready to get rid of that ball, and after the show, Brett came up to me and he goes, "Yeah, I think we're going to keep that ball in the line a little bit longer." He goes, "You're welcome." Like, I don't know that I've ever thrown a better ball, a better reactive ball on short than that one. When you got to get away from the urethane look.
Mm-hmm.
Your buddy Marcia James today. So 2020, another good run is by Bill.
This one's a little bit better than this really good run, though.
Well, the story is that was a Team USA joke. So way back when we had it was Bill and Tommy and Wes and I and Bill, and so we would bowl these team things and against each other, and there's nicknames getting thrown up there, and of course Union, New Jersey got thrown up for me. That's Kelly's hometown. To give you time frame of the reference, so 20 shots being thrown, that was the best one. So Bill got that one. So the next one, we go up there, and I put up for Tommy, and I changed a good, POY, and Patrick POY, and Wes POY, and myself POY, and Bill good run. Because he was about the third best bowler about 3 years in a row, maybe the second best bowler like 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
So
I remember that.
Poor Bill's just had bad timing.
He is not in a great era to be Player of the Year.
Well, the thing was, if Bill could have got to the level he's at right now, like 1 or 2 years pre-Belmo, he would have won. Because it was it became like the NBA Player of the Year award. It was like, this guy can win it, this guy can win it, this guy can win it. Now it's just like, it's kind of boring. It's like how the award should be. It's like we're having a debate about they're having a debate about the NFL. And it's like, Patrick Mahomes might get to the end of this year being all-worldly god of football and only win the NFL MVP once.
Yeah. He's already up against his own stats.
Because they kind of decided that it's going to be Russell Wilson this year because for whatever reason he hasn't won it, and for whatever reason he has to win it.
ESPN decides those things about 90% of the time, I think.
I'm still liking pretty damn good.
I'm still liking the chance of my boy TB though.
That's right. That's right. I was a little worried last night, man.
3 weeks ago, was it 5 after week 3? They were talking about how terrible he is. He's lost it. He's done. Interesting. The narrative switched.
Just had to get on the same page with his receivers.
Right. Yeah. And Cam was, maybe Tom's not that great. And now how much have things changed in those last 4 weeks? So
all I can say is all those guys who said, well, if Peyton had a coach as good as Bill Belichick, then he would be the best. They're all pretty quiet right now.
Uh-huh.
Surprised AJ isn't streaming this while he's in the gym.
That would be kind of funny.
Here comes our guys. Come on.
Yeah.
AJ took the morning off for us, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, I did. My workout was a little later last night and did legs, so I'm giving him a little bit of a rest before I go back.
Get
bowling
up. Yeah, the deadlifts are making the hams and the butt feel it today.
Oh yeah, I know how it feels.
Yeah.
Well, I have a fairly strong deadlift every day when I get out of bed. I have a lot of dead weight to pick up. So, have you got any bowling coming up, AJ?
Up, Brady. Yeah, actually, this weekend we have the last regional of the Midwest is this weekend in Iowa, in Clinton, Iowa, which is kind of cool because one of the 2 years ago when they had a tournament, I beat Rash for a win there. So that appreciate it. It's cool.
Sean that's AJ's dad for you. He actually only has 2 initials. He's just SJ.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not SSJJ or SJSJ or yeah. So the little rocket scientist in the
He's
family.
obviously very bored while he's getting oil changed right now. So, yeah. So it's the last regional next weekend, and then after that, maybe just some small stuff here and there. It kind of sucked that this weekend coming up, Dino had actually called and asked if I wanted to come down and bowl in Texas with Aaron McCarthy and a couple other guys that Dino knows in I think it's like the Swiss something event. I don't know.
Before, remember?
Yeah, that's it. And I
50.
was like, oh, maybe I can come down and stay at Dad's place. And this was before I knew he was moving. So
we still have beds. You're good.
Yeah, and but then when I saw that the regional was this weekend and the owner of the center wanted to have as many guys there as possible and had reached out, had one of the guys that lives in town reach out to us and asked if we would come because they're actually having a pro-am. So don't know how that'll go. I'm sure we'll all be masked up and everything for that, but
yeah, we've had some. I don't know about how the wisdom of it, but
right.
I get the finances of it at least. So
yeah,
masked up, no high fives, shaking hands. Limits of autographs would be useful as well. Just keep it to pictures. That would be my suggestion.
Right.
But AJ, during the playoff shows, did you try the tank blitz at all?
I did on the practice pairs, and it was that cover is so strong and early. The center that we were bowling in was just hooked too early, so that one just seemed to lock up too quick and quit down lane. Whereas the gold one, with the cover that it has, is a little bit cleaner, and could shape a little bit better down lane. So, yeah, we did try it. It was either going to be the gold one, or if we had to go to reactive, it was going to be the orange snake face or the blue reliable snake face, the Venom Shock.
I believe that one's purple, but
purple, blue, yeah.
Sure.
I mean, this is purple.
So,
sounds like your mother-in-law is having is she Greek? I thought she was Filipino.
Yeah. My poor wife is going down to tell her it's probably not going to go very well.
Well, speaking of which, you also had a pretty good run, and we haven't talked to you since then. But did your league team meet your expectations? I'm going to step in here and say, if it didn't, your expectations were not reasonable.
Yeah. And it was pretty cool to see how quickly the five of us, actually the six of us, because Emleto had a really big part in that, meshed and gelled together when we were bowling. We bowled the seeding round and wanted to bowl a little bit better in that. But even after that was over with, no one ever seemed to really have any doubts. And it seemed like going into the shows and our matches, we were always the underdog. And rightfully so. I mean, we had to bowl Dallas to get to the finals. I guess to say that the only one that really wasn't the underdog or heavily favored one was our first match when we bowled Brooklyn. But yeah, that was unbelievable. It was so cool. Especially for guys like Ildemaro and Richie who hadn't got the chance to bowl in the league yet, to give them those chances and to see how they really stepped up. Richie Teese, yeah. Not Richie Allen.
Yeah.
It was just cool to see them kind of come into their own and bowl as well as they did. And
they both bowled great too.
Yeah, and Emleto did an amazing job with everyone. I never really got the chance to be around him very much, but I found out quite quickly he's extremely smart and he knows a lot about the mental side of things because that's what he studied. So it was cool to get that insight from him. And yeah, I mean, obviously you could tell we had a lot of fun too. So that was, yeah, the expectations were met and then some. But at the end of it, from where we were, I would have liked to held the cup up, but it was a good match. Portland's a pretty good team.
Yeah. You can tell me. You don't have to tell me that. My team got eliminated by twice. Although, to be fair, they didn't really have to show it against us. We limply said, "You're good." We gave him a 10-4 on the last. That's a gimme. You're good.
AJ, a quick strategy question. EJ left a couple of 10 pins. Would you have switched after you left the first two, or would you have stayed? And I think this is the important part of the question, and pace 220.
That's a tough question because like we talked about that earlier with the with it only being one game. EJ hadn't missed that whole game. He had a couple of 10 pins and it seemed like that pair had some carry issues even when we bowled the earlier matches. So I guess you stay in the same ball and maybe move and try to get the ball to save a little bit more energy down lane, get it to go through the pins a little bit better to score. But I don't think you really get out of that and give away the pocket because at the time, Smallwood hadn't really shown much to where he was going to shoot 240. So I think you got to stay with it.
I think it's very situational. Scoring pace is the most important factor, and then where you're at in the match. And like you said, Smallwood was struggling. There wasn't a lot of reason to take a risk when you had control of the pocket. Because EJ's going to strike.
Right.
So I agree.
Here's an amen, Chris. Sorry, bro, Lumberjacks. Plus, you look better as a spectator with your ugly Blackhawks jacket.
Scott moving up on our top fan list.
Scott's actually he's from Maine, so he was there when all that went down. So yeah.
This is bullshit. We've got all the guys in here who are on the AJ Lovin train. Look, Dave Feldman, AJ, you're one of the most motivated people on tour. Your drive, passion to be better shows the kind of athlete you are. Your time to shine and win some titles is coming soon for you, my brother. Much love and respect. No, you're on the wrong show.
This is not that type of show. We don't do this. So
yeah.
Yeah, I noticed Kyle Trump made a comment about the rack.
Kyle Trump.
Yeah, and it was only that lane too. That lane had the rack that was kind of off.
I find it ironic. Kyle making a comment then after he gave yes for the business for criticizing the rack in England. Interesting.
Bowling hypocrisy only knows who's ahead. That's the only thing it really knows. Because we all do the same thing if we're in the other spot.
Oh, look, my wife. I heart AJ too.
I love you, Tina. The better half of beef.
So the thing is with the rack, I only moan about the rack for Jesper because Jesper's almost guaranteed to hit the pocket every shot. I'm not sure where it's going. The rack is the least of my troubles a lot of the time at the minute. I'm like, meh. I always thought that re-racking on twister pins was the most futile thing in the world because who knows what a good rack on twisters is?
Yeah, no.
Well, the Weber Cup, Jesper already had about 15 pins a game advantage to hit the pocket. That's what he needed was an open pocket on top of it. That was certainly the fairest thing to do. So,
there's some good ones coming in now.
Phil Downright, you got that one?
Yep. There we go. All American. Great smile. Throws it great. Probably going to run through both of you for a title at some point. I love me some BJ. Richie, you at the top rope.
Here we go.
Oh.
On the spot.
That's funny. Well, he probably should say me because he's tried his best at Barnes and didn't work out so good.
Yeah, Even though it doesn't count as a title, I got him in Korea. So I tried over here in the States on TV, and I got the old crowbar.
Tried to take him down low, and you got Dikembe'd.
Yeah, I got the old crowbar on that one. You can't do much when someone shoots 260 at you.
Not in my house.
But ideally, it would be pretty cool for a stepladder to have to go through Chris and Stu on the way to winning. So that would be fun.
And sure.
Both is the right answer. And to be honest, I think we'd both like to be on that show. But
yeah.
Second pace fine. It's okay.
That's right. Number two. No.
Yeah.
I think it does pay fine. I've found that out.
Speaking of,
a few times.
My wife coming in, he never left.
There he is.
Wow.
He's great.
God, love you. This is the Love AJ show. But
Jesus.
Find AJ a girl who takes longer than him to get ready show.
God.
Make it a smaller field.
He did follow it up with "Love you, AJ."
Yeah. God, it's brutal.
Hey, John. Yeah, it's been a lifetime. It feels like.
Yeah, let's be honest. If AJ did this show, we'd have to move it back at least an hour so he could get up in time.
I mean, I did have to set my alarm for you guys, so you know.
You can't even say it's because we're in a different time zone.
No.
Well, it's America. You could, and everybody would believe you.
Yeah. That's true.
That's true.
I did have to say that if you want a little bit of amusement about statistics, you should listen to the Pat McAfee show yesterday.
I love Pat McAfee.
One of the guys on the show had his COVID hat on, and it was very funny. He said something along the lines of, they said, "Man, they said that at some point in that game they had a 4% chance of winning. Well, I've learned that 4% is a lot. Man, we shut the country down for a whole lot less than 4%. And I was like, whichever side of the aisle you are, was quite funny.
Yeah. Take it for what it's worth. Just not turn this into a thing. But yeah.
And of course, Pat McAfee's like, here he is. I built the show up. Now this guy, nobody even knows your name. You're going to crash my show and burn.
Yeah.
Well, there's some good ones.
Well, let's get to the important part. How's your dad doing?
So he's doing good.
Didn't you shoot 300 not too long ago?
He did. Yeah, he was pretty jazzed up about it. Hadn't done it in a little while, so he was pretty jazzed. They're running after Mason and Juliana, the little ones. I've kind of become, secondhand now that they're doing pretty much everything. Mason bowls on Saturday mornings, so he loves that. He sits down at the board.
That's just now happening.
Huh?
That's cute that you think that's just now happening.
Yeah. Well.
So, real quick question though. So you're back at your parents' house for this, right?
Correct.
I thought you had your own place.
I do. My place does not have internet.
I was about to say you too cheap to pay for the internet.
Yeah. So, the pleasures of rookie ownership.
Yeah.
And how soon you have to set up stuff.
It's been probably the worst part since everything is happened and I've been home and able to get things set up. So I went through and put in the order online and even called and had said, look, I moved in. Builder told me that the box is on the other side of the sidewalk. I need a pre-bury, needs to go under the sidewalk to get to the house. And I put in their special requirements, everything. Twice they sent somebody out that told me, hey, man, I can't do this because it needs to be buried under the sidewalk. Yeah, I know. That's why I put it in when I first started it. So it's been going on for 2 weeks now. And apparently after 2 weeks, if nothing happens with your order, your account gets deactivated and deleted. Cool. So I had to call and get everything set up again yesterday. to figure out if the line has even been buried yet so that I can have someone come out and get it connected. So as of right now, I will have internet and everything on Thursday morning.
This is what $15 an hour gets you.
Everything.
So.
What was that?
Barnes is meandering down a route that we don't want to take.
This is what $15 an hour gets you. You know, oh, yeah, I didn't read that. Okay.
We've got a real pressing question here coming in from Love Jones.
Love this one. What's longer, Michael? Bowling setup or AJ getting ready to do anything?
Martell, by far.
Hey, that's another lefty who's given up his purple hammer.
Yeah. I just saw him recently, posting videos throwing our new reactive balls, our new Forge and Venom, and I was this close to commenting and going, I don't understand why you're doing these videos when you're not going to get out of a ball that doesn't have the word tank on it.
Casey Mattingly,
he is
the Career Cup travel with you today.
Stays right there where it's always been.
Is that it?
For when I move into my house, then it'll go into my house. Yeah.
I guess it's easier when you only have one.
It's a nice one, though, AJ.
It is a nice one. It is a nice one.
The one that I got for my first trophy isn't a nice one, but it was a lot easier to move.
Yeah.
Hey, Barnes coming in.
Splitter. I'll call you after we're done.
There you go.
Snowman. What is this? What is this snowman double?
Oh, perfect. Yes.
Oklahoma?
Do you want to come and bowl? I need to recruit teams.
Is that the one in Oklahoma?
It is, yeah. It's the second week of January. Hey, mark the tape. Mark the tape. I got AJ recruited. Skillet.
5210.
Got it.
So yeah, if you want to spot, search Snowman Doubles on Facebook and tell Jessica that I sent you.
Got it.
You can bowl with anybody you want as well, except Tom Doherty, Chris Barnes, or Frankie. Can't bowl with any of those people.
Oh yeah, Frankie's your guy, right?
Yeah.
I guess that one's okay.
But you can ask Marshall.
He's right over me on that deal. We talk to each other almost every day.
Right.
I just now found out he's going with Frankie, so I guess I can call Tom now. Cool.
I've done you a favor. Let's be honest.
I don't know either one of us are doing anybody else a favor, but yeah, they do them by hand for that one.
Oh, Tom!
Come on, Chris. Give Tom his credit.
No, Tom. I do give you the credit, but I need the credit, and Chris will explain why on the phone call.
True.
I feel like
they like hand do them, and they I think last time it was like 50 feet or something like that. I don't even know what they did. It was something.
Yeah, isn't that the one that was Kevin Williams? Him and his doubles partner, they end up winning it. Was it True?
Yeah, I think Prather bowled with Ginger Spin Biscuit. What's his name? Brandon Biondo.
Ginger Spin Biscuit.
I just couldn't think of his name.
That's so great.
Which part of that is incorrect?
Sorry, maybe we'll have you on the show someday. I mean, we're obviously taking non-titleists, so I mean,
this is good. Casey Mantley said, "Hey, no need to text. Yes, I'll bowl Snowman with you." Be quiet, Dell. No, hi, Kristen. This is the one I was looking at here. AJ, are you coming to San Antonio for the ice strike for 10,000? Shh.
When I came down to bowl the doubles tournament with Chris, they Nathan and
Maria,
yeah, told me about that tournament. So I'm definitely.
I'm old. John May was the first name that popped into my head.
Oh my God.
Way to show.
Maybe Brandon at
Led in Chattanooga, I believe it was.
This is the bit that made me laugh. Matt Dutty, ginger spin biscuit. Vince has to be so proud.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'd like to.
Pick your poison. Find a partner. Come on down. Oklahoma, pretty good tournament. There's a bowler meeting.
Yeah. Tons of added money. Skillings does a nice job. They get a lot of money into it. It's good prize fund. 64 teams. Is that right? Or 48?
64, I think.
Yeah.
I remember last year.
4-lane center. So there's bowling going on for a long time.
Yeah. I remember last year when all the guys went down to bowl, they said it was they had a pretty good turnout.
Yeah, well, just I'll message Jessica now and say you're interested. Get
Got to find a partner.
Like I say, get your boy Marshall James to come down, or why don't you ask Jacob? Jacob will bowl anything.
That's true. I have a feeling he's already got a partner. He's probably bowling with AJ Rice.
I say he's probably already got a partner, and it's probably somebody that none of us have ever heard of because it was some guy that that Jacob met at the pro-am who asked him, and we'll be like, "Why is Jacob bowling with that guy?" Then he'll win.
Yeah,
Jacob would be like, "You don't know this guy?"
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Best. But quick shout out to Jacob. We're all thinking of you, mate.
Absolutely.
Jessica's watching, so that's good. Make note. Tell Skillins in league tonight. But yeah, Jacob's mom passed away yesterday after a long fight with cancer. So yeah, the whole bowling world is thinking of you, Jacob. You're definitely one of the good guys.
For sure.
This year can just piss off with all that. Like, at beginning of the year, Kyle's mom, then we've had Marshall's dad, Jacob's mom, Andrew Anderson just lost his dad, and Kyle Sherman's uncle. And I just had a friend recently, unexpectedly from high school, lose their dad, who was pretty much well known in Oswego. Like pretty much the entire town of Oswego came to his funeral. So this year can just screw off with all that.
Yeah. Andy Patterson, on a way more lighter note, has come up with a good solution for you.
Yeah.
Maybe William Gannon will come up and team up with you.
Yeah.
There we go.
Everybody's allowed for their dreams to come true.
I'd like to win. So,
well, Richie,
make that happen.
This is his old stomping grounds in Oklahoma. He spent a lot of time there. He likes to drive everywhere.
He knows a couple of holes in the wall.
Holes in the wall.
I seem to only know about one, but Chris,
do
you know what?
Yeah. Moving on.
Okay, well, we've had you on plenty of times, AJ. So we're not gonna have a. Oh, look, there we go. Doesn't know which weekend it is, but he's free.
Yeah. True.
He just wants to go bowl so he can see Chris. That's
more than welcome to come down anytime.
Yeah.
And there you go. For those of you interested, there is a Facebook page, the Snowman Doubles at Firelake.
Just tell them that it's a bit like when you go into Denny's, you all say Mike Scroggins sent you. When you all go into the Snowman Doubles, say Stu Williams sent you.
I feel like there's some kind of.
I'll explain it to you.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, thanks, AJ. It's been it's been a pleasure. Playoffs continue this weekend. I believe it's on Sunday again. But if you go on the PBA website, it's way better now for the schedule. If you just click on the top, it says PBA on Fox, and it just is like bang, and it gives you all the times and everything. So if you ever want to know when the PBA is on, you just have to go on the PBA website, click on it, and it says PBA on Fox, and a graphic comes up with when it's on next. So,
all right. Well, once again, thanks to AAJJ for coming and joining the show. Once again, always a fan favorite. As you can read down there below, please support our sponsors. They make this happen, and they support us as well. So that being said, 900 Global, Rotogrip, Storm, Dexter, Vice, Turbo, 3G Shoes, Coolwick, Master, and Bowler Smart. So, and then Bounty, we're working on you, boss. So, until next time, support your local bowling centers.
Yeah. Dad, thank you. Stu, thank you. Appreciate it. I always love being coming on the show and tuning in to watch, because somehow it always seems to find the silver lining to come off the top rope.
There is one last question that has to be put up.
Oh, no.
Has anyone seen Chris Prather's wife shopping, so we can know if he won or not? Okay. All right. Guys, on Friday, we're going to be here on Friday. The show's going to be around 12:30 Central. Me and Chris are going to be coming live from a matchmaker. We're going to have, all things being equal, the 2 new Rotogrip balls to display. Chris is going to have the 2 new global balls to display. We're going to try and get some of the people from the matchmaker to, me and Chris are going to have a pair of lanes set up that we're going to be doing it on for probably an hour. We're going to have a couple of the people who are trying the matchmaker come through with the balls that they've been liking. So should be a bit of fun. Hopefully we can get the camera set up so you can actually see what's going on. So yeah, that's a different version of the Beef and Barnzy show, but we'll there you go.
The ginger spin disc will bowl doubles with the bald bounty roll. There you go.
Man, I'd bowl with Vince anytime. All right.
All right. Hey, support your local bowling centers. Extra drink and extra meal once in a while. Help them get through this tough time. And for all you else out there, stay safe, stay healthy. God bless.